Hold on, start again.
So today, we're going to be doing a little bit of a reading from a book called Haikus, An Adventure into My Fucking Mind by Matthew T. McHenry, who's a famous local author. If you don't know him, you can probably find him around the Bowling Green State University campus. Previously, he used to wear an Aquabats helmet. If you're not familiar with the group, you can do a Google search. Search for Aquabats. They wear these striking helmets, and I've never seen anything like them. I guess that maybe they look like the inside of a football helmet or something. But anyway, they're not really, despite the title haikus, they're not really your typical haikus. They don't follow the 575 syllable scheme. Matt he kind of makes his own. He breaks the rules, like many poets do in this day and age. So let's get started. Can
I ask you one question?
Yeah, sure.
How did you get a hold of these poems?
I found them he gave me one of his books, basically. That's what happened. It wasn't the complete book, though. It's more like a library edition or a pre-reader's edition, because he hasn't actually published this yet. You won't find them in the stores. However, this is what he gave me. There are some other things in there too, other than haiku. There's some of his actual poetry, but we'll get to those later. We'll start out with the haikus, or whatever you want to call them. In line at Wendy's, really hungry. I play with stickfas in the garden.
Play with what?
I play with stickfas in the garden. Cast the die. Attempt the math. Fuck you, Jake. Now this is a reference to D&D. He'd often roll the die, but couldn't add the numbers properly. So, and I'm the dungeon master. So I'm the one that's supposed to basically tell him whether or not the result is A-okay or if he failed or whatever. But he could never give me the final result. He could never give me the number to begin with. So that's why the fuck you, Jake is in there. I played D&D. I died. Life sucks. Now Matt is not a masochist, but when he's angry with himself or with others, he takes it out on himself. I don't know if it's because he can't. He is too afraid to take it out on someone else. I mean, he has actually done that before, but more often than not, he'll take it out on himself in the form of staples to his flesh. So that's why he wrote this one. Staples to flesh, swelling red, pity me. Aquabats helmet, drop dead IQ, them's the breaks. Now Matt used to work at the Union at a place called Zaz, which has now been renamed to Two Tomato or something. I can't remember. I saw it in the Union, but he came into Dungeons and Dragons, the session once, and said, "Hey guys, I have a story for you." And we were like, "Really? You have a story for us?" So he said, "I was at work and I was really bored, and I fucking hate my boss, so I said, can I take a break?" And she said, yeah. So I was really surprised, and I went in the bathroom. You know the employee's restroom? I'm like, yes, I know the employee's restroom. Isn't it that one behind, where we can't get to it? He's like, yeah, employee's restroom. And I'm like, so what did you do there? And he said, well, I went into the handicap stall and, well, I jerked off. And then I went back and made pizzas. Great. At work, really bored, one-eyed monster. I went to the bathroom. It was good. So, these ones were actually, the following several, were actually not given to me, but they were given to a friend of mine named Brian Williams. And he provided these on our website for us. Since Matt's shy about his poetry, he's shy about it, so he doesn't show everyone this. Which is why what I'm doing here is a little behind the scenes. It's kind of underground. But we think that people need to know about this, because it really is, it's something new. It's something new. I've never seen poetry like this before. So, I ate at the dial, puking guts out. I scratch at my ass, sniffing fingers. All alone, picking my nose, finding dinner. I hear logical argument, don't get it. At school, teacher speaking, Charlie Brown. Which of course refers to the Charlie Brown teacher. He also gave these to Brian, which I got them from Brian as well. Neural imbalance, social misfit, Matthew T. McHenry. Once again, he's kind of a masochist. I see OJ's girlfriend flying peanut butter. This is an example of him taking his aggression out on someone else. This actually happened. My stickfas are my only friends. Okay, those are all of the haikus that he has that were in those 2 volumes. And then he actually published some of his other types of poetry, which actually has a disclaimer on it. A disclaiming disclaimer. Which reads as follows. A disclaiming disclaimer. Allow me, the great Matthew T. McHenry, self-proclaimed supreme authority of Antarctica, warn those of you who are poetically poetic that I, with my redundant redundancies, am a storytelling storyteller, not a poet. So do forgivingly forgive my terribly terrible lack of expertise in the field of poetry. Next is how I came to be the supreme authority of Antarctica. The Conquest. A man struts through the frozen landscape. He wears shorts in a blizzard. Clearly, he is either a man without fear or more likely sanity. His silver helmet reflects the sunlight from above. He places a makeshift flag into the ground. He bellows, "I claim this land in the name of me." It echoes endlessly. Only penguins and seals populate this frozen land, and neither can comprehend this lunatic. Next is an idea I conjured right before I was about to go to sleep one night, and I couldn't sleep for most of the night after writing it. Philosopher's pants. Imagine, if you will, a pair of pants, corduroys to be exact, that were sentient. Yes, pants that could think. The pants would not just be able to think, but be able to understand philosophy. This pair of pants would become famous. It would write books that would change our lives. But eventually, this pair of corduroys would become lonesome. Smart pants are incredibly rare, you see. This pair would take a plunge into the washing machine, and as the cleansing commenced, the pants would become regular corduroys. After having some, I guess, negative criticism about these poems, he decided to edit them. And the edited versions are as follows. A man struts through the frozen landscape. He wears shorts in a blizzard. Clearly, he is either a man whose dick is frozen off, or more likely, never had one to begin with. His silver helmet reflects the sunlight from above, which somehow filters down from the blizzard. He places a makeshift flag into the ground. He bellows, "I claim this land in the name of me." It echoes needlessly. Only penguins and seals populate this frozen land, and, like humans, neither can comprehend this lunatic. The Philosopher's Pants. Imagine, if you will, a pair of pants, corduroys to be exact, that were sentient. Yes, pants that could think. The pants would not just be able to think, but be able to massage your buttocks. This pair of pants would be famous. It would massage the shit out of you and change our lives. But eventually, this pair of corduroys would become soiled by its incontinent owner. Smart pants still have to cover your ass, you see. This pair would take a plunge into the washing machine, and as the cleansing commenced, the pants would become regular corduroys that not even the Goodwill would accept because someone dropped a big load in them.